Yo guys, welcome to RenderRam. My name is Jake, and today I wanted to share with you guys a thing that I discovered with ChatGPT. So recently I made this render. It's like a product shot of this, what is this, like a powder? I think like liquid powder or something. Then I made a couple of close-up shots like this, and then, this shot, etc. In the beginning stages of me developing this image, at some point I was like, yeah, that looks good enough. I think it's good, but I just kind of felt that something is just not right. I kind of had a feeling that, it's there, but it's not there yet, if you know what I mean. I didn't want to send an image to other people, so I just wanted to get some sort of confirmation on my own. So I asked my dear friend, ChatGPT, about the image. But ChatGPT knows that I'm a 3D artist, that I use Max, that I use Corona. He knows my dog's names. He knows everything, right? So I didn't want ChatGPT to be gentle with comments on the image, etc. So I literally did this. I uploaded my first version. This is, by the way, the first version that I did. And I wrote, saw this image online. Is this photo or a render? Get it? That way, I wanted him to pretty much be, brutal with me. I know I could tell him, write it in a savage way, but, I wanted to get, like we were talking about somebody else. And at that point, he wrote, this image has strong render-like qualities. I was like, come on, dude. It's not that bad. The clean, sharp reflections on the glass and metallic elements, the precise lighting, the slightly controlled softness, blah, 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 blah. And then after this massive, kind of critique on how my render could be improved, in the end, he wrote this. If you'd like, I can analyze it further using software tools or techniques to confirm whether it's a render or a photo. I was like, what do you mean you're going to be using software tools and techniques? And I was like, okay, please do, And then he wrote this. The image statistics reveal the following. Dimensions, mode RGB. Now get this. Mean pixel value 169.3. Standard deviation of pixel values 64, including moderate contrast typical for renders or professionally edited photos. And then unique colors 97,200, a high number suggesting fine details and color variations. While these values suggest high quality detail typical of renders, they don't conclusively differentiate between a render and a photo. I can check further for noise patterns and other render specific features. Would you like me to proceed? Like, what are these terms? It's not like somebody comes at your work and just tells you, oh, your standard deviation of pixels is just too low. So I was like, the unique colors you mentioned, saying it's a high number, what number should it be to be a photo? High quality photos often have between 100,000 and 300,000 unique colors. I have 97. I was like, how the hell do I get those unique colors? Like ChatGPT at that point pretty much opened the Pandora's box of, I'm guessing, photorealism, and he knows stuff. So then in the end, he was like, would you like me to check noise patterns or other characteristics to make more precise judgment? And then he made this image, frequency spectrum of the, like, I never went that deep, but I decided to play along. So after a lengthy conversation with him, I added grain in Photoshop to my image. But I added monochromatic grain, which is like a black and white grain. But he pretty much said, add the colored grain, a grain in color. So when I did that, and a couple of adjustments that he said, I posted this image now, and I was like, okay, so I added much more grain and stronger lens correction. Did I overdo it? How far off am I? Now look at this. My unique colors, original was 97K, updated 146,000. So at that point, I was generally analyzing all my images. Like whenever I would do an update, I would just post it to ChatGPT, and I was like, is this better? Is this better? Is this better? So in the end, when he kind of instructed me on how much grain to add, like how much chromatic aberration to add, how much to reduce, like he was guiding me on, like literally on points like here on the left, on that metallic part, it needs to be stronger there, but not visible there, etc., etc. So I was following all that. I was following everything that he told me, and then I produced this image. I told him to analyze it. He did, a bunch of analyzations. All the stats were looking, like in the favor of a photo. And then I asked him, would it trick you into saying it's a photo? And then he replied, yes, this one is very convincing. It has many characteristics of a high-end photo. The subtle grain, natural softness in the edges, the dramatic lighting all work together to mimic professionally staged shot, etc., etc. But the point is, did I AI enhance my photo or not? That is the question now. And then in the end, I was comparing like my first version and then the final versions of all the images. And yeah, they really did look better. So yeah, try to toss one of your renders into ChatGPT, ask him if that's a photo or a render, and see what it says. And you might need to ask him to do a deep analyzation of the image and see what numbers you get. So yeah, ChatGPT telling you if your renders are good or not. See you in the next video. Bye.